Is it a no-brainer for you to see a presidential helicopter just landing on a lawn? Truth be told, this would be the case for most people without the facts. And yes, there are concrete reasons for this style of arrival, both historic and precautionary. Alright, so let's start with the basics. Marine One isn't a specific helicopter, it's actually a call sign. Any helicopter operated by the US Marine Corps that carries the President of the United States is referred to as Marine One. So it's not about the helicopter itself, it's about who's on board. Right now, the main helicopter used as Marine One is the Sikorsky VH-3D Sea King with a rotor diameter of 62 feet. It's a big, powerful machine loaded with cutting-edge technology designed to keep the president safe, comfortable, and connected. There's also a newer model in the mix, the VH-92A Patriot, which we'll talk about in a bit. But for now, just know that the Marine One is much more than a ride. It's a flying command center for the leader of the free world. You see, in the mid-20th century, the United States was going through the tough period of the Cold War, as you may already know. This time was marked by geopolitical tension and the growing threat of nuclear conflict. Considering the conditions, the safety and quick travel of the president became a prime concern. Traditional modes of transportation, such as motorcades, were increasingly seen as inadequate due to their vulnerability and slower speeds. The need for a fast and secure method to transport the president over short distances became necessary, as it should have been always, isn't it? Anyways, on July 12, 1957, President Dwight D. Eisenhower made history by becoming the first sitting US president to fly in a helicopter. This inaugural flight was conducted using a Bell H-13J Sioux, a light helicopter primarily used by the military for reconnaissance and medical evacuation. The flight was part of a simulated nuclear alert exercise designed to test how quickly the president could be evacuated from the White House to a safe location outside Washington, D.C. The success of this initial flight demonstrated the helicopter's potential as a vital tool for presidential transport. It offered a combination of speed, flexibility, and direct point-to-point travel that was unmatched by other modes of transportation at the time. Recognizing these advantages, the use of helicopters for presidential travel quickly became a standard practice. The Marine Corps was assigned the responsibility of operating the presidential helicopter fleet, leading to the establishment of Marine Helicopter Squadron 1, or HMX-1 Nighthawks. Over time, landing Marine One on the South Lawn became a tradition. It wasn't just a practical solution, it became symbolic of presidential travel. Let's talk about the South Lawn itself. The area is 18-acre stretch of beautiful green space directly behind the White House. It's more than just a backyard for the president, it's a multifunctional space. The South Lawn is where the annual Easter egg roll happens, where press briefings take place, and where state ceremonies are often held. For instance, during President George W. Bush administration, T-ball games were held on this very spot. And the South Lawn is the perfect spot for the Marine One to land. Why? Well, it all comes down to three main reasons: space, convenience, and security. First of all, space is a huge factor. The South Lawn is big, open, and flat, which is exactly what you need when landing a helicopter as large as Marine One. There's plenty of room to maneuver without worrying about trees, buildings, or other obstacles getting in the way. This makes landings not just possible, but safe for everyone on board. Then there's convenience. The South Lawn is just a short walk from the Oval Office. Imagine the president needing to quickly get to the helicopter or stepping off after a long trip. It's all about minimizing time and making things easy. Being so close to the White House means the president doesn't have to waste time getting from one place to another, which is super important with a packed schedule. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, there's security. The White House sits right in the middle of Washington, D.C.'s flight restricted zone, which is one of the most heavily monitored airspaces in the world. This means any unauthorized aircraft trying to enter the area is detected and dealt with immediately. Places nearby, like Lafayette Square or the Ellipse, just aren't as private or secure. Plus, they're too small to safely handle Marine One. So when you combine the South Lawn's size, convenience, and its location within this highly controlled airspace, it's clear why it's the go-to landing spot for Marine One. It's not just about tradition, it's the smartest and safest choice. Okay, so now let's talk about the not-so-glamorous side of landing on the South Lawn. As beautiful as it is, grass isn't the most practical surface for a helicopter as heavy as Marine One. The VH-3D Sea King, for example, weighs about 19,000 pounds when fully loaded. That's as much as 4 fully loaded SUVs. When something that heavy lands on grass, the wheels can sink into the ground, making the landing uneven or unstable. Then there's the issue of downwash. This is the powerful blast of air created by the helicopter's rotor blades. On Marine One, the downwash can reach speeds of 100 miles per hour. It's strong enough to stir up grass, dirt, and debris, and even shake or break windows or loosen roof shingles on nearby buildings. Finally, there's the heat damage. Marine One's engines produce a ton of heat, and when the helicopter lands, the hot exhaust can scorch the grass. This leaves behind unsightly brown patches that require constant maintenance. This brings us to a question: how are these problems solved? Well, actually, the challenges of landing on grass don't mean that they just wing it. The team has some tight strategies. One solution is the use of landing plates. These large aluminum plates are placed on the grass before the helicopter lands. They help distribute the weight evenly, preventing the wheels from sinking into the ground. The pilots are, of course, the foundation to all of this by playing one of the most crucial roles. Marine One pilots are some of the best in the world, trained to land with precision and care. They make it look effortless, even when it's anything but. After every landing, the White House groundkeepers step in to repair any damage to the lawn, as we said earlier about the damage caused by the heat generated by the helicopter. These professionals work tirelessly to keep South Lawn looking perfect, ensuring it remains a symbol of the presidency. So they deserve a hats off. Even if all these preparations and precautions were in place now, this is not a tradition lacking in terms of drama. Yeah, there's a wild event that happened in 1974. It was a nice chilling evening in February when a man named Robert K. Preston stole a helicopter from Fort Meade, Maryland. The truth is, he had failed out of flight school and wanted to prove that he was capable of flying. In a reckless act, he flew the helicopter through the highly restricted airspace over Washington, D.C. and landed it on South Lawn. The Secret Service scrambled, firing shots into the night. Luckily, the incident ended without any injuries, but it was a wake-up call. If one person could pull this off, what other threats might the White House face? After that, security measures were drastically improved. Today, the White House has an advanced air defense system to detect and neutralize unauthorized aircrafts long before they get close. All that passed, but there's nothing like the modern present. We only say this because the current Marine One fleet has been in service since the 1970s. It's reliable, but aging, and maintaining it has become more expensive. That's where the new helicopter, the VH-92A Patriot, comes in. The VH-92A is bigger, faster, and more advanced. It weighs about 28,000 pounds, even heavier than the VH-3D, and can carry more passengers and equipment. But here's the problem. The South Lawn wasn't designed for a helicopter this heavy. In 2018, they tested the VH-92A on the South Lawn, and the results weren't great. The exhaust from the new helicopter caused significant damage to the grass, and the sheer weight created a deep cavity in the ground. This delayed its full deployment. The $5 billion worth VH-92A has finally started flying the president as of 2024, but so far, it hasn't become a regular visitor to the South Lawn. There's even been talk of building a permanent helipad, but that would change the look of the lawn and take away some of its historic charm. Surely, this is something debatable. Should the White House adapt the South Lawn for more modern helicopters, or should tradition win out? Installing a helipad would solve many problems, but it might feel out of place on a lawn that has been a symbol of the presidency for decades. For now, landing on the grass is a compromise between practicality and tradition. It's not perfect, but it works, and it is a powerful image, one that most of us would like to see going on in Pride, huh? So the next time you see Marine One landing on South Lawn, remember the rich history and strategic reasons behind this tradition. It's more than just a convenient landing spot. It's a symbol of presidential security and efficiency. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the world of presidential transportation. And if you're eager to dive deeper in the world of iconic aircraft, check out our videos so you won't miss out on the thrilling comparison between these two legendary planes.